Hey kids, it's me, Tony. Welcome back to FlossMas Day 10. Wow. I don't think I've ever in my life made videos for 10 days straight, which I didn't because I took the weekend off, so technically there was a 2-day break, but you know what I mean. Welcome back. Welcome to my floss tube, where I talk about cross-stitching and my return to cross-stitching after a 30-year hiatus. So it's a whole new world. So I'm glad you've stopped to be part of that with me today. So this is part of FlossMas, which are daily snippets during December. The rest of YouTube usually calls it Vlogmas, but since we're FlossTube, we're FlossMas. So today, I have more stuff. This is from, I made a little order to 123 Stitch, and I got that in the other day. So I've waited until now to open it. I got some floss, some fabric, and one pattern. So, and actually it's a pattern I could have gotten off of Fat Quarter Shop, but it was actually cheaper here. Go figure. Anyway. Let's open it. Now, I didn't go like, 30 years ago, you had Ada and Hardinger. And Ada came in kind of standard colors. So this whole, 15 different fabrics and even weaves and linen, I didn't know anything about. I mean, maybe it existed, but I didn't know anything about it because there was no internet, there was no floss tube. So this whole hand-dyed or, over-dyed fabrics is kind of new to me. So I didn't want to go, and it's probably best I'm retired, because if I was still working, I'd be spending way too much money and have even less time. So I got fabric, which most of you will find quite boring because I think it's kind of basic colors to begin with. And I didn't get very large pieces. One, because I wanted to see if I liked this stuff. And two, because I don't have $20 for a piece of fabric. So, anyway. I'm just telling you that now, so when you say, well, that's a little awful pieces. Can't do anything with those. Well, you can if you do small. So, anyway. I still spent more money than I should have. But that's okay. So, what all did I get? I got maybe I didn't. Oh, I didn't get, where did I buy my floss from? I gotta go back and look. I was thinking I got it here, but I didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 different fabrics. And that's what I did. So I hope they have like names on this. So, oh, I forgot it came with a little charm. Yay, so that's fun. I got the Prim Village cross stitch. So this is for, and it came with a little charm. I forgot it came with a charm. That's nice. Look at that. Isn't that a cute little keychain, charm, or scissor fob? I guess scissor fob. It's So Emma is where this comes from. I think I saw this on Fat Quarter Shop. But It's a Lori Hall B&B. I know this is one of those things that probably everybody stitched when it came out. When did it come out? I don't know. This is 2020. Did it only come out this year? I don't know. So you can do these individual, or you can do them all together, and that's how I want to do it. And I thought if I stitch, there's 16 of them. If I stitch like, you know, 1.5 or something a month, then I could have this done. You know, it's pretty straightforward. There's no big color changes. So even I could do it. This is the one I'm buying, the Cosmo Floss 4. And I don't know why I thought I bought the floss from 123 Stitch, but maybe not. Now I gotta go back and look where I got it. I think I must have gotten it through Etsy somewhere. So, very cute. They're all different colors, but it's, you know, straight. So they're in little families of color. So if you do the large village, it's 147 by 149. It's a stitch count. On 14 count Ada, it's 10.5 by 10 and by 6.25. And if you do it on 25 count, it's 11.75 by 12. So, I mean, it's a good size, but it's very much doable. I thought it would be cute, and our guest bedroom is more of this style. Our room and the house isn't really this so much cottagey kind of primitive kind of look to it. So, you know, I wanted to get something that I knew of a place I could put it, because I didn't want it to just sit in the drawer somewhere. Oh, look, I stitched that once, so I'll put that back. But and I forgot about that, so that was fun. So that was like a little present. That's the thing about as you get older, sometimes you have just a little tinge of memory loss, and so you get surprised once in a while and say, oh, I forgot. Okay, so let's get to the fabric. The one thing I do that I had heard, and the reason I wanted to go to 123 Stitch is because I knew that they serge all their fabric, and I can't sew. I don't have a serger. It takes too long by hand. So they do all of it for you, so I was happy with this. So, oh, this is pretty. Okay, this is a 28 count Mirage Lugana, and I just thought the color was really pretty. It's showing pretty true to form, but as you can see, it's only, what size did I get? 12 by 17. So, yeah. That is pretty how that turns out. I've only seen these over dyes on video. I hadn't seen any of them really up close. So that's nice. I like that. Then I got a very small 8 by 12 of 28 count dwarf Lugana. So this is a blue. Isn't that pretty? It's a pretty blue. I like that. I like the way the fabric feels too. So that's pretty. So a lot of these are kind of a variation on a theme. You'll find out I like Lugana. This is a 28 count Ren Lugana, which I've heard many people talk about. So I know this is a common color. So I felt pretty safe in getting, I got a 12 by 17 on that one. So I think that's a pretty color as well. That's neutral enough. You can put almost anything on that. And I did get one piece of 14 count. It was small. It was the 8 by 12. Joblin Ada 8 by 12. And I guess I was thinking, so what? Somebody tell me what the difference is between Joblin and not Joblin piece. I was thinking Joblin was a type of even weave like Lugana, but this is Ada. So I guess it would be helpful if I showed you the material. So there you go. I thought that's pretty. I like it because it, I mean, it's, when you pick it up, it's Ada. But it doesn't look as Ada-ish when you do this. And I just wanted to see how this stuff looked when you dye it, because that's kind of the next thing I want to try is dyeing my own, because, I mean, this wasn't expensive because I got a small piece, but I could see where you could spend a lot of money on fabric. And then the last piece I got, this should be linen, yeah. This is the Vintage Country Mocha 28 count Cashel linen, and this is 9 by 13. So, because everybody is always talking about this color. Everybody. Every time I turn around, they go, it's on Vintage Country Mocha. So, and I'm looking at this, and that's a really nice linen. I mean, it's pretty clean as far as whatchadoodles, the little globs. I call them globs. I know that's not the name. So that would be pretty. So, like I said, I've been collecting the little Christmas freebies, mostly from Mama Loves You GB, who is just wonderful. I love her. And I just love people that are very good at what they do. It's just so fun to watch and see all the different things, because her mind thinks creatively. And sometimes my mind doesn't, because I'm still feeling like I'm in the learning mode and kind of getting into it. So I don't feel comfortable yet, like getting too creative. So, but she's very experienced stitcher, so she is. So she has really great ideas. So I'll have her info if you're not one of the 5,000 people already subscribed to her channel. Anyway, that's my little stash. And now I want to talk about something. When I did cross stitch many moons ago, before the internet, before YouTube, before any of this, this was not really an issue. But it seems like this is an issue now that can be sometimes divisive among those in the floss tubing cross stitch world. And I hearken this a little bit to my prior days. My channel, I did a lot with beauty and luxury items and stuff. Not so much that I could afford luxury items, but the big discussion in that world was always between buying legit luxury, like your Chanel's and your Louis Vuittons and stuff, and what is nicely called replicas, but are actually just fakes. And we've all seen them, right? You go to the flea market and there's a fake Chanel or a fake Louis Vuitton, and sometimes it's really obvious. But they make really high-end ones too. So there's a division in thought on if it's okay or not okay to buy replicas. It's illegal to sell replicas, but it's not illegal to buy them. Sort of a weird thing. Of course, there's not really that issue in the floss tube world. And I think everybody understands copyright laws, that if I take this, this, I cannot go to my copier and make 10 copies and hand them out to all my friends and say, here, you want to do this with me? No, I'm going to tell them, go buy your own. Conversely, if I download a chart, I'm not going to download 10 charts for my 10 friends. I think everybody agrees on that. But what I have heard differing opinions on is, what can I do with this when I'm done with it? Or what can I do with this if I decide I don't want to stitch it? Now, a lot of things I've bought off of eBay, or I've bought from somebody DeStashing, because you usually get a better price and you get things that maybe are out of print or whatever. But I have heard certain floss tubers, certain floss tube designers say, can't do that, Tony. That's wrong. That is cheating the designer out of their due. So, yours truly bought this, and no one else should be able to stitch it unless they buy it. So if I stitch this, or if I decide I'm never going to stitch this, my two options are to throw this in a drawer somewhere or throw it away. I don't really agree with that, because I wouldn't do that with anything else. If I buy a handbag and I use it, and then I don't want to use it anymore, and I choose to either sell it or give it to someone, I'm not going to say, I'm sorry, I already used this handbag, so you will need to contact Coach or Michael Kors or whatever and buy your own. I have to destroy this handbag. I'm going to do that. There was a price set for that item for me to do whatever I would like to do with that item. The same thing with clothing, the same thing with shoes, the same thing with anything. Now, I would like to flesh out this, because I may be missing something. And part of that may be, you don't wear this. You make something from this prototype. This is a prototype of sorts. When I get a handbag, I get the good, not the blueprint to make the purse. So if I get, in essence, the blueprint, and I pay for that blueprint, is that blueprint now mine to do with whatever I choose, or am I obligated somehow to either keep in, eternity, or destroy said blueprint? What do you think? I have an opinion. So I kept hearing about Prairie Schooler, and that somehow this has driven this philosophy. So I did look up on the internet, which is, we all know, knows everything. And apparently there was the needlework equivalent of Napster in the early 2000s, where they started, I guess a bunch of housewives got together and said, you know, why don't we just scan all of our needlework items into a database and then everybody can use it. And in doing so, they drove Prairie Schooler out of business. To me, that's the equivalent of standing by the copier and making your 10 copies. To me, that is not the same as saying, hey, I'm done with this. I'll sell it to you, or I'll give it to you. The other thing is that when I stitched 30 years ago, I only knew things to stitch by either buying a leisure arts, you know, little brochure with all the little designs in it, getting the little tearaway sheet at Michael's that maybe had a design in it. I'm talking outside of kits. You know, having a friend that gave me something, or one of the magazines that had the charts in them. So you know, so for the most part, you didn't go online and there was no Etsy. And as far as I know, there weren't nearly the proliferation of designers like there is today. And some designers, I mean, this kit wasn't cheap. Now I get the little, where'd it go? Uh-oh, I did not lose my little doodad. It's in here somewhere, I can feel it. To me, was priced at a price point that made sense for, you know, if I were to hand this off to somebody later, I wouldn't feel like I cheated somebody. But there are designers that put out designs every week. And I don't know that, I mean, there are designers that come out, I mean, okay, you can tell Lori Holt. I mean, pretty much, she kind of sticks to a certain genre. There's a look to her things. There's a look to Mirabilias. There's a look to Dimension kits. But there are some designers that just put out massive amounts of work. And now they just put out PDFs. They don't even, you know, they rarely make paper copies, which I understand, because that's a lot of extra work. You have things printed, then you have to mail things out. There's a lot more involved in that. And if you can send somebody a PDF, it's immediate. I get it right away. I print it out. And I don't have to go to the store. You don't have to mail it. It's great. But I don't think the person putting out, you know, 20 variations of a theme should be the one saying you need to trash everything when you're done with it and the next person needs to pay for it. Set a fair price and leave it alone. That's kind of just how I think about it. But I may be wrong, and I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying this is my first thoughts on it. So I would like to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Should we only say you have to get sort of the equivalent of the original from the designer or from the store to ensure that designer gets the worth of that design for everybody that ever uses it? Or is it okay to pass on something that you've used or you're not going to use to someone else and let them get enjoyment out of it, but not pay the designer? I don't know. You tell me. That's my deep thought for this week. Just something that's different now, that wasn't an issue, that I'm just seeing different opinions on. So I would like to know yours. And that's it. That's it for today. I'm a little long-winded because we got into that discussion, and I wanted to make sure I kind of, didn't sound like I was way this way or way that way or just mouthing off. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, because tomorrow's Friday. Yay. So have a good day, have a good evening, have fun stitching, have fun deciding what you're going to stitch, have fun planning what you're going to stitch next year, and I will see you tomorrow.